First, I want to talk about my story. Um, I know a lot of you do not know who I am, and I want to make sure that I'm vulnerable and I'm telling you my story, a little bit about myself, so that you can understand my grind. You can understand where I'm coming from when I do things, when I say things. And I think it's important to me that I put my story out there because I think that a lot of people can relate to my story. So, I want to start out with the fact that um, I think my story is average. Like, I was the average student, the average person, you know, in in middle school, in elementary school. I didn't have the best grades. Um, Fifth grade, I had like 7 Fs on my report card. It wasn't because I was not intelligent. It was because I didn't do my homework. A lot of it was I didn't do my homework. A lot of it was I don't know. I just think that even when I did do my homework, I didn't really get the credit that I felt like I deserved. So yeah, and my grades went like that until about my sophomore year of high school. In my sophomore year, we had a seminar and we had a speaker, and they were talking about how after high school, like, what are you planning to do? Are you planning to go to college? And towards the end of my sophomore year, that's when I started thinking to myself, of high school, that's when I started thinking to myself, like, what do I want to be when I grow up, or who do I want to be when I grow up? Um, and I knew with the grades that I had, I was not going to be able to go to college. I had A's, B's, C's, D's my freshman year, my sophomore year. I don't think I had any. Let me turn this off. I don't think I had any D's per se, but I definitely was not a straight A student, straight B student. So again, I was average, and it was that point when I decided that, you know what, I want to go to college. And in order for me to go to college, I had to pretty much change my ways, change my demeanor, on how I thought about, my school, my life. And I had to get really serious about where I was going to take my life, because no one was going to do it for me. I had to do it for myself. No one was going to push me. I had to push myself. And, you know, that's when I started to be motivated to be driven to actually, um, as they say, pick yourself up by your bootstraps or whatever. I mean, that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to change my life for myself. So that was the end of my sophomore year of high school. My junior year of high school, I started to get A's and B's. Um, and it's crazy because all throughout my life, I've been a C student, and all of a sudden, I made one change, which is change my perspective and change my hustle, change my grind, change my mindset. And now all of a sudden I'm making A's and B's. And in my senior year, I made more A's than B's. So I was extremely proud of myself, but I knew the grind didn't stop. So I ended up going to college. Honestly, I wish I had a mentor who could help direct what college I should go to and what subject I should study in college. I didn't really have a mentor. I didn't have anyone in my life that could direct me. So I ended up going to a small college, and I majored in accounting. So my freshman year of college, I had a 4.0. And then I think so that was I started college in the summer. So I took two classes, I got a 4.0, and then in the fall, my GPA went from a 4.0 to like a 3.7, I believe. But yeah, I was on the dean's list several times throughout college. I graduated with honors, and it's crazy how it all it took is that one mind shift. My mindset changed, and I could do more than what I was doing before. And that's the first time I actually proved to myself that I could be more than average. So after that, I started working. I was a sales rep for like 5 years. You know, got my first job out of college. Um, that was cool. I wasn't picky on what job I wanted, honestly, because at that point, even though I already graduated out of college, I still didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, honestly. So I called this HR lady. I used to, joke with her during when we were in a cafeteria. We had career day and stuff like that. And I called her because she gave me a card. And I called her and I said, "Listen, I'll sweep the floors. I'll clean toilets. I don't care. Like, I need a job." She was like, "Well, what do you have your degree in?" And I said, "I have a degree in business and English with a minor in accounting." She said, "Okay, you can be a sales rep." I'm like, "Hey, it's a job. Great." So that's pretty much how my adult life started. Just, me proving to myself that I could do something that I never really thought I could. Like, not that I thought I couldn't, but I didn't have expectations of my life. I have a comment here. It says, "I want to interview you for my YouTube channel." That's cool. Just you can shoot me a DM. You can shoot me a DM at NewFans app, or you can email me at hi@newfans.io. So if you want to interview me, you can. All right. So I kind of just wanted to tell you my story, and let me fast forward a little bit because I want to tell you the second time that I pushed myself and I was motivated to do something that, not that I think I couldn't do, but it just wasn't a thought that I should. So I'm working, happy. I think I was like making like $50,000 a year at that time, and I don't know, it's my first job. I'm happy, and I remember a supervisor, not a supervisor, but like she was like a few steps up from a supervisor role, and she came to me and she said, "Why don't you want to be a manager?" And I'm looking at her like, "A manager? Like, what are you talking about?" Like, you know, I thought that, okay, you got a job, you're good. Like, that's all you need is a job. Why do you need to be a manager? And when she said that, I really thought about it. I went home and thought about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should be a manager. So at that point, my thought was, okay, I need to be a manager. I want to be a manager, and I started like going to HR, trying to see what roles were available. Like I want a managerial job ASAP. So I started. Wait. So I'm still at that company. Eventually, I quit. Honestly, I quit that company because I don't know. I already been there for like 8 years, and it didn't seem like they wanted to promote me. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just take my talent elsewhere, and I left, and I went to another company. Stayed there for like 10 months because I didn't really like their pay structure, and I went to another wow, I went to another company, and I started a managerial role actually at that company. So now officially a manager. I'm in a brand new company, and I suck. I'm like the worst manager. I was the worst manager in that company, the only female, the worst manager because I didn't know what I was doing. To be honest, I had no idea, and I'm so grateful, so thankful for my boss. Um, he he has to tell you why, but he believed in me. And he really built me from the ground up and taught me how to be a manager. And I went from being literally the worst manager to being one of the top managers in the building. And I didn't just stop there. Like, I'm like, okay, I know how to manage this section well, but I want to manage that section over there. I want to manage that section over there. I want to manage that section over there. And I kept literally almost begging, like, my boss's boss to, get me over to different sections in the building so I can learn how to manage every single um, job in the building. And I got to a point where now I know how to manage the entire building because I literally every department, every section except like maintenance or something like that, I pretty much managed, and at that point I'm like, okay, like I'm ready to get promoted. And eventually I got promoted and I became a manager's manager. Yeah, manager's manager, whatever. Whatever that is. So yeah, honestly, I loved my job. That was really fun. But I just kind of wanted to share my story. How I'm just like the average person. I started off, as an average student, with an average mindset, and I pretty much overcame um, just thinking that okay, I can do the bare minimum to, I want to do more for myself. I want better for myself. So I started thinking along the lines that okay, I can really do this, and I achieved everything I set my mind to, and that's just the beauty about me. I feel like because I whatever I set my mind to do, I could do it. I know I can because I've proven it to myself. Not once, not twice, but again and again and again. So now I'm starting out with this tech company, brand new, you know. I'm not like the tech founders. So I don't even think I'm the average tech founder. But I'm here and I'm putting in 100%, and I want to put in 150%. I want to climb up the ladder because I know I can do it because I'm setting my mind to it. And I touched on this on the first episode, but something that I learned throughout the years is since I was in high school, what got me through is motivation. Like if I'm motivated to do something, I push through more than any. I don't want to say more than anybody, but I push through more than any other time in my life. And I realized that after all those years of being motivated that right now motivation isn't what I need. I need discipline. And discipline is going to take me, like motivation took me from A to B. Discipline is about to take me from B to Z. And that's pretty much how I want to live my life at this point on, this point forward. Um, being disciplined to do the things that's going to push me forward, even if I don't feel like it, even if I'm not emotionally available for the task. I need to find it and still do the task. It doesn't matter, um, what the obstacle is. I should be able to overcome that and get the job done. So that's pretty much what my mindset is on right now. So I went from an average mindset to a motivated mindset, and now I'm at a disciplined mindset. So that's pretty much my story, my progress. I took you from when I was a teenager, and younger, all the way up to adulthood, and this is how I'm living my life, from this day forward.